Welcome to September 2022's Battle of the Believability.
So this month we dive into a few episodes we did in September. Wow. September was kind of crazy.
The last couple months have been a little crazy.
Yeah, it's been a lot to juggle.
It has been, but you know what? It's fun. We're here. We're doing it. We're talking about spooky things. We got 3 episodes that we're going to break down. So it's going to be that perfect top, bottom, and middle.
Yeah.
Again, we are going to take the top episode and is going to compete at the end of the year for the most believable episode that we've done the entire year of 2022. Likewise, the bottom episode is going to move on and essentially fight for its life.
That'll be a fun video.
It's good. I'm already going for fairies, just as a heads up. But that episode is going to fight to not be named the most unbelievable episode that we talked about in 2022. And then the middle episode is going to go into a bracket. So at the end of the year, y'all can vote which will be named the second most believable episode. So let's break down the 3 episodes that we're going to talk about today on this video.
Yeah, so it's basically a spirit thing and 2 monsters, cryptids.
Spirit thing, monster thing.
The first thing is a Celtic Banshee, Irish Celtic Banshee. Essentially, it is the sound of
music.
Music or glass shattering, some kind of sound, and a woman screaming. And that woman can be presented many different ways. But it is foretold if you hear the Banshee shriek, death is approaching in your family.
It's like Gauntlet. Death has appeared. Or is it Death has arrived?
I don't know what you're
Gauntlet?
talking
Gauntlet,
about.
the video game? Death. It's like, come on, Red Elf needs food. Bad.
Wow.
You've never played that?
No, it sounds fun.
The second episode that we're going to be talking about today is The Beast of Bray Road, which is essentially if you have like a Dog Man family reunion and is hosted by the Michigan Dog Man, it invites the Beast from Bray Road, which is in Wisconsin, which is over there. But basically, this is this werewolf-like, Dogman-like beast, this hairy, strong, muscular entity, and it goes around, it looks, it digs, it approaches you if you accidentally run into it with your car. It doesn't like that. Eats food on the side of the road, roadkill. It's hunched over like a person on its knees, just diving into it. Just imagine dog and then human that spends a large amount of time at Planet Fitness.
And the next thing we have is the Wampus Cat, or the Death Cat, or the Cherokee Death Cat.
The 6-legged.
It's got 6 legs.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Or it's got 2 legs, and it only walks on 2. There's a lot of varying descriptions of the Death Cat, Wampus Cat, monster, creature. Could be a good spirit, could be a bad spirit. Could be, could be very small, could be giant. Not sure.
Could be a panther. Could be fake. So this is what we do. You can see it. You can see it all around. This is where we get down to the nitty gritty. This is where we discuss where we think these episodes lie, from most believable to the most unbelievable. Sometimes these are really tight. Sometimes there's easy slots. Whether you're thinking top or bottom, is there one that is just smacking you in the face?
Yes.
That you want to put it in a certain spot?
Absolutely. I don't know. You probably feel the same way.
Is it the
There's
Wampus Cat?
Easy spot for the Wampus Cat.
North Carolina, North Kakalaki. What's more believable? The Wampus Cat is real, or that my guy Baker Mayfield takes Carolina to the playoffs?
More believable?
Right now, I'm thinking it's the Wampus Cat.
Ew.
But
geez.
in shout out, I love you, Baker. But it's Jacoby Brissett time right now. No, I agree with you entirely. I think the Wampus Cat.
Wampus Cat. It's just the lack of consistency for me. I presented the episode, and I still don't know exactly what it looks like.
I don't know why, because there's insects, there's bugs that have multiple legs. I mean, millipedes, thousands. But for some reason, picturing this cat that has, like, arms up here, arms down there, and then just out of the stomach is just, like, these extra...
It's a mammal.
I can't. It just... And when people talk about seeing it, they don't mention the legs, and it feels like it's a big panther.
It's because it's a mammal. Well, I learned this in high school. It's something that stuck with me forever. Well, I was at lunch, and I overheard this. The reason why dragons aren't real, like European dragons, there's not an animal with a spine that has 6 appendages.
Oh.
Which, if you think about that, there can't be.
When you were talking about overhearing it, I imagine you at like a table at lunch, and you're just like, there's like a table and everyone's sitting there eating lunch and talking, and you're just behind them like, is that dragons I hear?
Pretty close.
No, I'm completely cool putting the Wampus Cat at the bottom.
Yes.
So now we have to decide whether
The Beast or the Banshee?
which one is going to move on and fight to be crowned the most believable episode that we've talked about this entire year,
Yeah.
and which one will be voted on by y'all.
I have a feeling I know which one I want for both, actually. But I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. This isn't a gimme. Like, the Wampus Cat for me and
Gimme.
for you was a gimme. Like, before we even started this, when we said what episodes we did and kind of rehashed it, I was like,
We met eyes and said, Wampus Cat.
Wampus Cat. It just made sense. But this one's a little bit harder because it's like, do you buy if we go? Let me say this: if we go the werewolf route, it's gonna completely switch my belief system here.
Okay.
If we're staying, I don't want to say staying true. If we're gonna go the werewolf route and a human being turning into a werewolf, and that's what the Beast of Bray Road is, it's gonna flip what I'm thinking in this current moment. But just assuming that it's this dog man, it is this species, kind of like a Bigfoot, right? Like, it's not a Bigfoot, but it's just this naturally occurring entity.
That's what makes sense, too, because there's the Michigan Dogman.
Yeah.
And so this whole, like, thing in Michigan, why didn't it just go over a state or so?
Yeah, I mean, we travel. Why can't they travel?
Exactly.
So it's okay. Am I willing to believe that there's this cryptid, this dog-like, human-like, not the most intelligent, but just strong, thing that likes to dig and eat roadkill? But then there's the... Okay.
Sounds like my cousin.
But then there's the Banshee, and it's like there's quite a few encounters. There's a lot of coincidences with it. But for me personally, it's a little bit harder for me to wrap around it. But what are you thinking?
I agree. If we would go like it's a lycanthropy kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Celtic Banshee is actually a little bit harder for me to believe because we can trace its roots so thoroughly back to the women that keened at funerals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where it came from. Like, you can see it.
So
That's
it's kind of
where it
like
came from.
It's like this urban legend grew out of something that was very real.
Yes.
But just because it has a real background doesn't mean that the urban legend is real.
Yeah, exactly. Not necessarily. So that's why it's a little bit harder for me to put the Banshee. But also, I really do believe that there could be these wolf monsters in Michigan, northern United States area, southern Canada.
It is weird though, I will say, and I'm almost cool locking in Beast of Bray Road at the top, but I will say it is weird how it was like very popular in like the 80s, 90s, and then it kind of like went off of, I don't know, people got more cars.
Yeah.
People just kept running into these guys and just boom, 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 and the Banshees are just doing their thing. Yeah, it feels like I'm just able to ground myself more in, which is funny to say about this half dog, half human thing, but in comparison, that's how I feel. For me, it seems like Beast of Bray Road, the Celtic Banshee, and then the Wampus Cat.
We have been really fortunate in these.
I know.
That we've been able to really agree.
There has been, I can't remember what episode it was. One of these we did where we were like bouncing.
Almost.
And it's kind of like, what do we do? we should have to phone our producer Ben.
Yeah, we should phone Ben in.
And be like, what do you think? He's like, Toyota suck.
Yeah, like, whoa.
I love scary stories to tell in the dark, the movie. He actually messaged me that recently.
It's so weird.
It's not true. But what is true is we are moving Beast of Bray Road on to fight for the most believable. It is.
That's a contender.
I can't right now think of everything up there.
Can't either.
Y'all will get to vote on whether or not the Celtic Banshee will be the second most believable episode we've done.
Yeah.
That bracket will come out near the end of the year.
I don't think that is a contender. I don't.
Probably not. There's probably some really good
There
second
are some
place
really
ones.
good ones in there.
And unfortunately, the Wampus Cat and all 6 of its extremities will be clawing and fighting to not be given the BTB dunce cap known as the most
That
unbelievable.
might be my runner. That might be my I might put my money on that one.
It's gonna be.
I know fairies. I know
fairies
I like
versus
the
the Wampa Cat.
But here's the thing. I know we both really don't like the Wampus Cat. Not don't like that. We don't really believe in it.
That's true.
But I really do believe in fairies.
I'm a little bit of a sucker. So if it came down to something that I strongly did not believe in, and fairies, I probably would give, because your passion for fae would probably elevate that more than my passion for whatever it would be facing.
I think so.
But
Fairies are not out of this yet.
not out of it yet, but we'll see. Wampus Cat may have saved fairies, but that is a decision to be made around Christmas time. But for now, that is our battle of the believability for the month of September. But we're super excited, and stay tuned for next month's battle of the believability.